Did you know that what the Bible says about sex before marriage might not be exactly what you think? Whether you're a curious teen or a thoughtful adult, we're diving deep into this hot topic with wisdom, clarity, and some surprises you've likely never heard before. So, stick around because the answers could change how you see faith and relationships forever. Whether you're here because you're questioning, searching for guidance, or just curious, welcome. Today, we're exploring one of the most debated and sensitive topics in Christianity. Is it wrong to have sex before marriage? What does the Bible really say? This is not your typical lecture. It's about uncovering biblical truths in a way that's honest, relatable, and transformative. We'll break down the verses, look at the historical context, and even address what this means for modern Christians like you. Ready? Let's jump in. First, let's start with the time when the Bible was written. Back then, marriage was very different. It was often arranged, and young people didn't date like we do today. In many cases, marriage was less about romance and more about family alliances and social structure. Why does this matter? Because understanding the cultural backdrop helps us interpret the verses on sex and marriage. When we read about sexual immorality in the Bible, it's not just a blanket statement. It's addressing specific behaviors and their impact on community and faith. But here's the big question. Does that ancient context still apply to us today? Keep watching because the answer may surprise you. Now, let's get to the heart of it. The Bible has several key verses that address sex and marriage. One of the most cited is 1 Corinthians 6, verse 18 to 20. Flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. This verse emphasizes purity and the sacredness of the body. But wait, what exactly counts as sexual immorality? The Greek word used here is porneia, which refers to any sexual activity outside the covenant of marriage. And then there's Hebrews 13:4, which says, "Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure. For God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral." These verses clearly elevate marriage as the context for sexual intimacy. But why? Is it just about rules, or is there something deeper at play? Here's where it gets fascinating. According to the Bible, sex isn't just a physical act. It's deeply spiritual. In Genesis 2:24, we read, "That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh." This one flesh idea isn't just poetic. It's a profound connection that mirrors God's covenantal love for us. Sex is meant to bond two people in a way that reflects commitment, trust, and unity. But does that mean everyone who's had sex before marriage is beyond redemption? Absolutely not. Stick with me because the next part will bring you hope. Here's the truth that often gets overlooked. No one is perfect. Romans 3 verse 23 reminds us that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But here's the good news. God's grace is bigger than any mistake we've made. If you've had sex before marriage, don't let shame define you. Jesus' death on the cross covers every sin, including this one. What matters now is how you move forward. In John 8:11, Jesus tells the woman caught in adultery, "Neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin." This isn't just a warning. It's an invitation to a life of freedom, purity, and intimacy with God. So, how do we live this out today? Let's be honest. It's not easy. Our culture glorifies casual sex, and waiting until marriage might feel old-fashioned or even impossible. But here's the thing. Following God's design isn't about restriction. It's about protection and blessing. When you wait, you're not just honoring God, you're also safeguarding your heart, your future marriage, and your relationship with yourself. And if you're already in a committed relationship, use this as an opportunity to grow in spiritual and emotional intimacy, not just physical connection. And trust me, the reward of doing it God's way is far greater than any momentary pleasure. All right, so what's the takeaway? Is it wrong to have sex before marriage? According to the Bible, yes, but it's not about condemnation. It's about living out God's beautiful design for love and intimacy. If you've made mistakes, remember this. You're not defined by your past. You're loved, forgiven, and called to something greater. Before you go, share this video with someone who needs this truth. And if you have questions or thoughts, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more life-changing content. Thanks for watching, and remember, God's plan for your relationships is always for your best. Stay blessed, stay bold, and I'll see you in the next video.